Hello. Welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
And I'm Matt.
Today we're sipping on 2022's New York World Spirits Competition winner. This is Black Whiskey. Don't you forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Matt, tell me more about this particular one, buddy.
I do. So like you said, this is the world's best whiskey according to New York Spirits Competition there. It's called Black Whiskey because it's from the Andes Mountains there of Peru. It's the Andean Black Corn Whiskey. Best part is they have the same bottle as the Wild Turkey, which I think is hilarious, of their Masters Keep series. Good job, guys. Love it. We've actually been lucky enough to have their master distiller actually at the house. He was here up from Peru about a year or so ago. So him and Josh, who lives up here, one of the other partial owners, and they were both here at the house, and we had a blast with them. So yeah, if you want to go back and watch the whole thing on them, I'll give you guys a little bit of history, but of course Michael himself can tell you way better than I can. I'll give you guys a little bit. So his grandfather, Don Michael, actually started it back up in there. Now, of course, Don Michael's that's not his real name. Don Michael's what they call him that, which is the story it's at because Michael was first, Kuryla is his last name. But so they call him Don Michael down there in Peru. So he moved down there in the 50s to get into the mining and petroleum industry. Of course, moving into fine construction was just nothing to do with whiskey whatsoever. But his dad in the 1960s said, "Hey, Dad, I want to make some spirits." So he made one run of vodka. And his father told him, "You're not allowed to make any more alcohol." So he bought all 32 bottles and produced, and no one's made anything with alcohol since. So fast forward to 2012. So then Michael, who's the current master distiller, moves down to Peru. So he was raised in the United States, but he also was down in Peru then. Went there to set up a factory, actually. And so the factory's going along fine, working to that. And so did these things. Well, while he was working there, he made some stills. And they've actually got on the website. He's got basically a beer keg. He's made some different stills and whatever. I guess the business wasn't going very well. So that he was at. And so eventually, I guess he said, they're in the jungle, basically, 12 hours from any freaking city anywhere, any civilization. And they would sit and wait for the bar to open at 5 o'clock every day. They said, we got to do something else. We have to do something. So he decided, let's make our own whiskey. So him and his wife decided, okay, so we'll open up. He got married in 2015 to her, but now she's the quality control and actually tastes all the barrels because his palate is, he says, not great. Tastes all the same to him, but they taste good, which is all that matters. So it's just funny. So anyway, so like I said, they moved in. She's doing all that stuff. But so this is the very first whiskey from Peru, one of the only ones from South America. Our first South American to certainly review. And they have a very special black corn that only grows in Peru at above most. It does well above 6 to 5, but everything they use in this comes from above 10,000 above sea level. So it's way up in the Andes Mountains. And they found the higher up it goes, the better it grows. So what they did, this is a type of black corn called Andean Black Corn INIA IA601. So if you want to get into those, so apparently there's 52 distinct types of corn that come from Peru, which is pretty wild. Apparently the United States only has about 13 currently, so they make a lot more on there. And if you want to see a dissertation on corn, go see the guy from Highwire, which he also had a thing with. And that was amazing. So like I said, we're just all the fun things. All right, so the water source is from an underground aquifer in Lurin that's sourced from the Andes Mountains. No surprise there. This runs below the distillery. They do a sweet mash with a 4-day fermentation. The cool thing with the fermentation is, so it starts purple when they put the corn in there, and by the time it's ready to be distilled, it turns red, which is a pretty unique thing to happen with corn. So after that, they also have their special machine, which you'll see if you go see the video, you can see the machine that's there. He calls it the hell's the name he called it. Basically, it's a special look. It looks like a tanning bed with plugs in it, something out of the damn Matrix. Anyway, it makes a lot of the volatiles go away apparently within 5 minutes, and makes it doesn't rapidly age or anything like that. It just makes it apparently taste better, which is cool. Whatever. He does like his agitator or something like that. But anyway, so they did try to start with some 10 and 25 gallon barrels, but as most of the stories find out, you better to go to 53s, which of course they're at that now. They use two really cool. They use Kelvin Cooperage, so they're using a new American oak just because Hero likes bourbon, so they are using new American oak. So they're using those from Kelvin Cooperage and from Black Swan Cooperage. They're using the honeycomb barrels. And same thing, go see the video. Michael explains it really well how those work. They're really unique. They have a bunch of holes in them, and you get a lot more contact with the wood and better with the wood sugars and all that cool stuff. And they get their yeast from White Labs in the U.S., and then let's see what else they got there. So the other things they make, which is cool, is because when we first had them on, they only had this. They had their vodka, which we'll also give a review guys on, and their Andean Mountain Cream, which is fabulous stuff. You can go see that cream video we had as well. And they do have 50-60% humidity up there, So they have a rather large, they can have a rather loss radio of like 15% loss, which is pretty high on your angel share. It's like, yee. So going to big barrels was very important, and they're just weirdly knocking shit over. All right, so what's in the bottle? That's the part you really care about. All right, so this is a 40, so it's 45%. It is a mash bill of 60% Andean black corn, and then 30% malted wheat and 10% malted barley. So the interesting thing is we've never had anything else prior to this of a malted wheat product. And he said they also tried malting the corn while there, which it does malt, because like that's an old moonshiner thing, malting corn. But he just said they said the best thing is they don't grow really barley there. They don't really grow wheat. So the best thing is they bring this in from Cargill, malt it there. Like I said, they tried everything in house, they just couldn't. So they're bringing those in, and that's one of the rules is all the grains except for malted grains must be grown in Peru. Is one of the other rules, since they are actually setting all the rules now for Peruvian whiskey because they're the first ones, which makes sense why they get to do it. All right, this is double distilled on a pot distillation. Now, the one interesting thing to do is since it's at 90, and Michael did admit they should have done it at 92, 93 instead, because then you don't have to chill filter it. So it's not fully chill filtered. They take 1/3 of it is chill filtered to take up. So you still keep a lot of the oils, but they take a little bit off to take the cloudiness out. How the hell that works, I don't know. Ask Michael. He knows how this shit works. It is a heavy toast and char, and this is a mix of 4 to 5-year-old whiskeys. So let's see what we think of this on the nose. Oh, it smells good.
It does, and it has a lot of the bourbon markers that I would typically throw out for like a craft bourbon distillery.
Yeah,
and honestly, it reminds me quite a bit of a lot of iron that I've smelled.
Yeah, and there's a good reason it reminds you of iron root. Is iron root uses this thing called purple corn, which is very similar to black corn. That, and in fact, the licorice's father knows his father because he worked for him down in Peru a long time ago, which is kind of a funny, how this worked out, because they thought at the time, I guess they were the only ones making a whiskey with this kind of corn, but also Licorice Brothers, of course, using a purple corn, which is very similar to this black corn. Plus, he said, if we call it purple whiskey, that name sucks. So, black whiskey sounds much better than purple whiskey.
Sell.
No, it just sounds terrible.
Yeah.
And it's black in the bottle, but like, that's weird. No, so thankfully, that's not what they ended up calling it. All right, so we get caramel, intense toffee. Cinnamon,
burnt toasted toffee.
Yeah.
It's like caramel on a skillet that's like toasting up and getting too hot and like burning a little bit.
It's just about to burn, definitely.
Yes, it started to smoke, but it's not quite burnt yet.
Little saltwater taffy, kettle corn, a little bit of blueberries, black pepper, like a dry ground, cracked in the desert, bit of mud, barn. It was very oily.
Yeah, to me, it's very leather, barnyard.
Definitely.
Horse stall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like you said, it smells a lot like a bourbon, which he said he'd kind of be like a bourbon. It was kind of his goal anyway.
Yeah.
Barrel char, oak, a little bit of smoke on there. Nice chocolate. It's kind of the chocolate to me reminds me of a little bit you get in there. And also be getting the Balcones rye, which I know there's no rye in this, but it does remind me of that Balcones, roasted rye.
Yeah, I think so too. That dark chocolate note.
Definitely.
And to me, this smells like it's dark chocolate with cherry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah,
So
that beautiful oiled, worn leather.
Yeah, if you told me this was a craft bourbon, I would be like, yeah, okay. Definitely.
Yeah, I could totally see people saying that for sure. But no, it's Peruvian, which is really cool. Oh, it's good. Lots of caramel, brown sugar, light cinnamon, super oily.
Toasted marshmallow.
Ooh.
Of my first sip. Toasted marshmallow, and actually like the whole s'more.
S'more. Yeah, I was like, this next one's like,
you got the chocolate, you got the graham
cracker.
Toasted marshmallow.
Yeah. Totally.
You said smoke, and to me, I got more of a charriness, but on the palate, there is a bit of a smoke.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's smoky. It's nice. Not like a peat or anything. It's just smoke. It's just a really nice barrel charred smoke.
Just a really heavy barrel char.
Yeah. And he says they do it. They said the toast on this thing, he said, most do it for about a minute. His toast is a 15-minute toast on those barrels he uses, which is extremely long. So yes, he says, I think 300 degrees up on the toast for 15 minutes. So it's heavily, heavily toasted. Wow. And then heavily charred after that. Chocolate mousse, a cherry oak. Like I said, lots of that barrel char. You got some good, nice wood tannins coming through, which is actually really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cinnamon and horse saddle was the second sip. It was just a whole bunch more leather, a whole bunch more of the oak tannins started showing up. This is nice.
It's a little blueberry, strawberry in there. But yeah, I'm also getting like an espresso coffee, a little cardamom, orange. Now on the second sip, a lot of leather now. But yeah, it's really nice and oily and full bodied. It's just a really good whiskey. I could see why, especially, it must have been interesting on the judges' faces when they said this is best whiskey on to find out it's from Peru, which is pretty awesome. That, this great of a product coming out of no one's ever done it before thing. It's just really cool.
This is better than quite a few American distilleries I've tasted.
Yeah.
So, I can understand why it won such prestigious awards. It's got a great full body to it, but it's not overpowering. It's not something that turn a lot of people off to it. Agreed. It's interesting and unique. It has little points that go different directions than most bourbons that you're going to sip on, but it's still playing the it's still playing the sport of baseball. Like we're still competing within the same realm of what bourbon is.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of bourbon drinkers are going to love this once they find this and get to try it. So I actually took this down to Psalm 3 and everybody was pretty much raving about it. I was actually texting Michael about it, how much everybody liked it while we were down there. So yeah, everybody's like, this is really good. So yeah, so we had a nice conversation with Michael about it while we were on there. So yeah. Like I said, we have gotten lots of cool stuff from them. We love the guys at Black Whiskey. They've sent me some other stuff. They make some gins for other people as well. They sent me a hat and some glassware and other cool stuff. So yeah, so we're reviewing quite a few of their products now. We send a nice thing. I'm really excited about is we should soon get to the States the cask strength version of this. So I'm super excited to try. So yeah, so they're just about to introduce a gin, a cask strength single barrel, and a honey version of this. So I'm very interested to see how those all try. So, but yeah, we really like this. I can see why this definitely won, some serious awards at this point in time. And as this thing get older and older, and I know, of course, same thing. It's an experiment in Peru because, it's that same very warm, cold climate. Not quite as extreme as Texas, but they have a lot more humidity than Texas has. So it's interesting to see how long this is going to be. It's more like, I would say probably more like the Indian or Taiwanese climate type thing. Interesting to see how long they can go in a barrel for before you have to pull it out. So,
especially with angel share size. Yeah, if they're getting angel share as high as they are. That's like trying to hold whiskey in what? Couldn't think of the name Houston for some reason, but imagine trying to age whiskey in Houston and just be.
Hopefully, the bigger barrels will reduce that for them now. From what they started with. So, but yeah, that's what I think most distilleries find out, that the bigger barrels work better. But yeah, this is a great whiskey. And so, I'm looking forward to trying more things from these guys. And we really like them. This is fabulous stuff. So you get a chance to see this black whiskey. It's not bad. It's $50. So it's not an expensive whiskey. Certainly any craft bourbon price wise is about the same. So I think worth picking it up and give it a whirl. It's good stuff.
Yeah. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell. We're also live every Monday night. Come hang out with us there. Until next time, keep on crusading for better whiskey in your glass. Cheers.
Cheers. Good shit.
You want to smell? I'm Will.
I'm Matt.
After it just won Whiskey of the Year this year, I was trying to put together what I was going to say. Don't laugh at me.
Oh, God, yes. The 2022 New York World Spirits Competition. Best whiskey in the world.
Today we're drinking on the 2022 San Francisco Spirits Best Whiskey of the World. This is Black Whiskey. Don't
New
you
York
forget to
World.
hit that.
It's New York World Spirits, not
Damn
San
it.
Francisco. Try this again.
Today we're sipping on New York World Spirits Best Whiskey in the World. This is Black Whiskey. Don't you forget to hit that like and subscribe button, click that notification bell. Matt, you want to tell me a little bit more about this particular one?
You just played the "What's Up, Fuckers" thing.
Of course I did.
Oh, that's hysterically funny.